How about it, huh? Game 7. I'm talking to you.
Talking to me? I think you're talking to me.
No, I'm talking to you.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, my bigger picture flaws don't change, like, in terms of my opinion, just because they won. I mean, did they have a shot? Certainly they have a shot to win. I mean, I don't think Toronto's, when they've looked feeble, they've looked feeble.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's been such a weird series, just filled with like each team blowing out the other squad.
That was me.
All right, we got about 1 minute.
There we go.
After the top of the hour news, we're hop right in. 55 seconds. Now, did that pop up on the?
Oh, I didn't even go there.
Oh, okay.
So I go to YouTube.
Yeah, /Sports Talk with Roach. It's right there. What is beeping?
Dad, I unplugged.
I
unplugged something over there. It's like I think it's the charger or the television camera.
We're going on in 30 seconds.
So here you go. Now I'm here.
You see? Okay, so just hit the video that says we're live.
I don't see a live one.
It might take a couple. Yeah, it might take a couple seconds, and then you'll refresh it.
We're gonna be on the left-hand side. Oh, there's more. Oh, there's a live channel.
Good morning, everyone. This is a fantastic day. Hold on. All right, we're good now. It is a fantastic day because I think the basketball gods knew that I was doing this show on Saturday and knew that Game 7 would be Sunday and decided to say, you know what, we need a 1-hour talk show of Broads on live radio just about Game 7. And listen, this series is so weird. It's back and forth blowouts. It's the strangest thing I've ever seen out of a series. But at the end of the day, you win a basketball game and you move on to the next round. And I believe, sitting here today, that it is very possible to do so. I think we can win this basketball game. I think all the pressure is on Toronto. Call me crazy, but all the pressure is on Toronto. Kawhi Leonard might leave. We can never get past the second round. We're a 6.5-point favorite. This is all in perspective of the Raptors. You're in your home building. We can't allow the Sixers to come in here and beat us. Well, maybe they're clinching a little bit. I think the Sixers go in there, and it's an if factor. It's if the Sixers play the way they played in Game 6. If Ben Simmons, Game 6 Ben Simmons, shows up in comparison to Game 3 Game 4 Ben Simmons and Game 5 Ben Simmons. There's a big difference. Joel Embiid, I know he struggled offensively, but he was plus 40. And what that shows you is we don't have to rely on Joel Embiid in the low block. I know, fans are going to scream at me for saying that. We got to put Joel in the low block. We have to. It's a must. He can't be shooting threes. I'm not saying for Joel to just pop threes. But what we saw in Game 6 showed his presence is what is important. And Gasol has done a great job on shutting him down offensively. His presence is important. We're here with Mike. He's not refereeing today. It's always
Not yet. Later.
Oh, you got it later in the day.
Umpiring.
Oh, nice.
You think I'm going to let a Saturday go by and not help out the youth of America?
You're right. I'm sorry for even questioning that.
All right.
So anyway, your thoughts, Game 7. Your thoughts on Game 6, Game 7. What do you see here as we move forward with the Sixers?
I mean, I thought they did what they had to do, obviously, in Game 6. I think, for me, big picture, what I saw in Game 6 doesn't necessarily change my big picture, approach. I still think there's some flaws there. I still think organizationally they need to change some philosophies, and those philosophies need to they need to stop allowing, and that's a hard thing to do in the NBA, but they need to stop allowing Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons to pretty much do whatever they want at any particular time. And I think that's been a part of their problem. But they came out and they played with an energy. They brought, we'll say, heart, low-hanging fruit cliche, but they played with a sense of urgency. And to your point in Game 7, hey, I don't necessarily agree with you with all the pressure being on the Raptors, because if I look at the nucleus of this Raptors team, meaning what? Meaning Kawhi, and meaning like Marc Gasol, who's probably been their second, maybe outside him or Pascal Siakam. But those guys haven't been there for majority, like definitely Kawhi hasn't, and Marc Gasol got there in the middle of the year. So he wasn't there for this, like the pressure points that like stem from previous history and their flaws that they've had. Those two weren't there. I don't even know what Kawhi Leonard thinks. I'm be honest with you. I think he's like some sort of robot.
Well, he wasn't he was more human-like in Game 6 than he ever has.
Which
scored 29
points.
He was
okay, and he was okay in Game 5 too. But they're 6-point underdogs on Sunday, which they've been
6.5 points. It opened up at 7.
Yeah, it opened up at 7, and I think they have a. They're not going up against the 98 Bulls like that. That's for sure.
Right.
They have an absolute chance to do it. But gun to my head, Game 7 on the road, they have the best, clear-cut best player on the floor. That's a pretty big advantage, but I think they can go in there and pull it off. Why? There's no reason they can't. I think when both teams have played their best throughout the course of the series, the Sixers have looked better at their best than Toronto has looked at their best.
Absolutely. I listened to an interview with Tim Legler, and I'm a big fan of his basketball mind. I think he's got good basketball IQ.
He don't like me very much.
No?
I'm sure he probably doesn't even know who I am.
Okay.
I'm sure if he saw, I would see him in Athlon all the time.
Oh yeah, you guys get into it a little bit there down there at Princeton.
I would say challenge him to 3-point shooting contests and stuff, and he would look at me like, dude, leave me alone. Yeah, sorry.
Couple too many that day, huh? You started challenging people.
Yeah.
I just think that you're right on that. If the Sixers, you're talking about the Sixers' best game is better than the Raptors' best game, and it just comes down to it. But the thing is, I don't know what to expect. I can't sit here and tell you what's going to happen because this series has been so inconsistent. One day, the Sixers are on it. The next day, the Raptors are on it. The day after that, you don't really know. So it's just I really have no idea.
But I think that's more of a Sixers problem than it is a Raptors problem, because I think that's kind of what, the whole thing with Joel Embiid, it's mind blowing. How he just can't
But that's not a Brett Brown fault.
No, I don't think it's a Brett Brown problem. I think it's an organizational problem, and I think Brett Brown is involved in the organization, where the organization has given full autonomy to both Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid to basically do what they want when they want, to the point that it's become a little bit of a detriment for the two of them. I think some of the health issues, with the eating issues with Joel Embiid, kind of, when the doctors may tell him you're not playing tonight. I find it hard to believe a doctor went in, given what we saw him play in a couple of those games. What was it, 3 or no? It was probably Game 4.
Game 4 and 5 were the bad sick. Well, yeah, because Game 3 came. It was Game 2 and Game 4 and 5.
I find it hard to believe a doctor said, "This guy you can go out there and play basketball." But I think Joel said, "No, I'm playing." And then some of those times where the doctors thought it was in his best interest to play, and then how often do we see he's doubtful or he's a game time decision? I think he talks his way into playing, and I think that's bad.
Well, I'll tell you why he has to. Did you see the stats when he's on the floor and when he's not on the floor?
No doubt. No doubt about it.
He has to play. I mean, he actually has to play.
I know, but at some point you kind of have to protect him from himself for the betterment.
I used to think that way, but right now I don't. Like, I used to think, like, well, what's more important, this playoff run or Embiid? But I'm sitting right now, like, the guy has to. Because it's like he's not feeling good sickness. It's not his legs almost off.
Forget looking at what we saw just in this particular playoff game. I think that overall philosophy, that overall just stigma that hangs around the organization is what I'm talking about. Like, that okay, you're right. This wasn't this. If you're just talking about the singular game, like him playing in a playoff game, like Michael Jordan with the flu, or okay, fine. He should be playing, but that's fine. I have no problem. But I'm talking about more every day. I'm talking about in October, and I'm talking about in November, and I'm talking about probably more importantly, I'm talking about in June and July when he's when he's not like watching people being watched like with kid gloves every single day. Like, what is he doing day to day? Is he eating the right things, or is he stuffing his face with Shirley Temples and chicken fingers? Like, it has to stop. And the whole thing with like Ben Simmons too. Like, he needs to at some point do just give up. Like, he has to have some sort of, like, he has to let his pride go a little bit and say, listen, I need to break down certain elements of my game and work with the Sixers coaching staff a little more, and just everything. Like, I think that's still my problem. That hasn't changed based off of what I saw in Game 6, which is my main point here.
Well, Ben Simmons played phenomenal in Game 6.
But Ben Simmons playing phenomenal was in the open court again. Like,
right.
I know he can do that. I know it's fine. Like, Joel Embiid's block shots led to he had a couple block shots that led to transitions the other way. I know that. But big picture, you can't let like the microcosm of just like what you saw like in that moment determine are they actually ready to win a title?
No, well, they're not ready to win a title now. You got Ben Simmons who's 22 and Embiid who's 25. I'm not ready for them
anymore. I mean, I hate hearing now they're still kids.
But you can't tell me a point guard that leads their team to a championship at 22 years old. You won't find one because it's impossible. Because it's a grown man's league. It's impossible. It really is impossible.
But there's a progression, and I worry that I have seen zero progression from the last 2 years from this guy.
Nah, false.
Where?
What? Come on. Ben Simmons is not the same player as he was 2 years ago.
Really? Where has he progressed?
Come on. His back to the basket game has been way better than it ever's been.
Marginally.
Nah, you're wrong. You're wrong. If you don't see Ben Simmons' growth, you're nuts.
No, I don't see a single ounce. He's gotten a little better on the defensive effort side of things, but he's actually. I'll go back to some of his time at LSU. His offensive game is no different than what it was at LSU. Is no different.
It's just because he doesn't have a jump shot that people say that.
Gee, that's like saying a guy in baseball, the four-hitter, can't hit.
No.
Like, you can't just dismiss that. Why does that get dismissed?
Because you can see. I mean, the guy averaged almost 20 points per game without a jump shot, so he's doing something.
He's been relevant in one playoff game in the second round in the past 2 years.
Here you go. We took him off the ball, gave Jimmy Butler the ball. So we took him off the ball the last 2 games, and he was so not a factor at all, right? He was not a factor. You give him the ball, and look what he did last game.
They played 5 games in the Celtics series last year.
Okay, but you're talking about the growth from this year to last year.
I'm going to do it in total.
Okay.
They've played five games in the Celtics series last year, and they've played 6.
He was horrible last year.
And he's been horrible up until Game 6 in this series.
I wouldn't say no because
he's been horrendous.
No, game 2 when we won that game, you can look at Kawhi Leonard's stats. His game plan was, Ben, don't do anything but just lock down Kawhi. And we won that game because of Ben Simmons' effort on Kawhi Leonard in Game 2. That's why we won the game. Ben Simmons' defense on Kawhi, even though his stats read an obnoxious game, he was the difference maker defensively on Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard, up until that point in the series, was achieving things that not even Michael Jordan had.
Yeah, you're right. And Ben Simmons' effort made that happen. Ben Simmons was the difference maker for me in Game 2.
No, I'm saying Kawhi Leonard was achieving things. He was averaging a point total. I think it was like 38 points a game.
On 62%.
Nobody in the history of...
And it would have been even higher if it wasn't for Ben.
Wow.
Yeah. No doubt.
Really?
No doubt about it.
Oh my God! Come on, you're telling me that that's like acceptable?
Yes. Oh, what Ben did? If Ben gave us that effort in this series every night defensively, I applaud him.
What you're saying right now is in part what I think needs to stop within the organization.
No, what?
There needs to be a higher accountability with these guys.
I mean, what do you mean? He played so good defense. You can only do so much. Good offense beats good defensive basketball. You can only do so much. If you do what Ben did every night defensively, you put yourself in a good position to win basketball.
So you're telling me that
we won the game.
I mean, it's fine. But
yeah.
that's the small portion in the big picture here. So you're telling me that in that particular game, and the way Kawhi Leonard has played, that Ben Simmons is a better defender than anybody that's ever guarded Michael Jordan in the history of the game? Because that's what you're telling me. You're telling me that Ben Simmons, if it wasn't for Ben Simmons, Kawhi Leonard's stats would have been so far beyond reachable that like the likes of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant would have never been able to get there.
No, I'm just saying he was a factor in that game. If you don't see that he's a factor defensively, then I don't know if you know how defense is played in the NBA.
Marginally. He was marginally the factor. I think it's very overstated. But by the way, the fact that we're leaning on that, we're looking at Ben Simmons and we're like saying, you were a factor defensively. You know who we said that about last year? Robert Covington.
Oh, not me. I hated Robert Covington.
My point is Robert Covington was his role.
Well, this is Robert Covington. Robert Covington was a great team defender analytically. That's what he was. He had quick hands because he deflected passes.
I don't even have analytics to lean on with Ben Simmons being.
That's
the fact that we're having
a
conversation of the defense.
He's a 6'10", 22-year-old point guard who's on Kawhi Leonard in the playoffs. I mean, come on.
First of all, fine. You want to say that's his strength?
It is.
Whatever.
It is a strength.
He got chopped up.
And we won the game because of it. You can only limit someone to so much. You can only limit. You're not going to make Kawhi Leonard go 0 for 30.
Man,
I mean, look at him.
0 for 30, but like he was such 62% from the field.
You're right, but he did a great job. It did a great job. I know it sounds silly when you look at the numbers, but watch the game. Use the eyeball test with it.
It's silly. It was 62%.
Okay.
But the whole point is here, like the fact that we're even talking.
How can you take defense out of a game?
We're not taking it out of the game. I'm saying that's the first thing you point to with him. It tells you all you need to know about his offensive progression.
But he wasn't playing with the ball. You take the ball out of Ben's hands, he can't play. He doesn't know what to do.
That's a problem.
But he's a point guard, so you put the ball in his hands and change the game. Take the ball out of Kemba Walker, take the ball out of Kyrie Irving. They're not the same player off the ball than they are with the ball.
You don't take the ball out of this.
Then you don't take the ball out of Ben.
Then
you don't take the ball out of Ben Simmons' hand. He's a prolific playmaker. He's a playmaker.
Not at this level, not in the half court. He has not shown me anything.
He was so great game 6 in the half court. He really was.
It was put back. Like, come on.
What do you mean? That's huge. He was great. You're not giving him enough credit. I might be great. See, that's what you're not giving him any credit. You're not giving him any credit.
He looks no better.
Oh my Lord.
He looks no better.
I don't know what to say.
He looks no better this series than he did last year.
You're not allowed to watch any more Sixers games.
I don't care. There's nothing with him. You're not there until he learns how to play better in the half court offense,
which he will. I mean, he's in his second year.
Why do you think that?
I want you to tell me a player who came in and the second year he was the best player as a point guard. It's such a hard position.
I don't have an answer for you.
Right, because it's not possible.
All I know is I have nothing to lean on historically with him, and I've seen nothing that shows me he's getting better in that aspect.
He's so much better than he was 2 years ago.
In the half court?
He struggles because he can't shoot, but it doesn't mean he's just not good anymore. Like, he's just not good.
Not good. He's going to be good. He's going to be an all-star in this league for 10 years. But that's the NBA. There are a lot of guys that are all-stars in the NBA that aren't great players. But the idea of him running this team, like, my problem is more or less with him. He has such a stubborn mentality. His whole mindset. He refuses to want to acknowledge the flaws of him wanting.
He knows he can't shoot.
I don't think he.
He knows he can't. Come on.
I don't think he cares.
Yes, he does.
I don't think he does.
Wait until he's 25, 26, 27, mid-20s. You're going to be laughing at this conversation.
No, I'm not. Laughing. Why do you think? Explain to me this.
Because it's called a growth. Growth.
But explain to me this. why do you think someone who's played, this guy's played basketball his entire life. Since
Yeah.
he's 5 years, probably
He was
3
bigger
years
than
old.
everybody else.
Well, why are you going to just dismiss? He never learned anything close to a jump shot for the first 22 years of his life.
I'll tell you why.
And he never developed close to a scorer's mentality the first 22 years of his life. Like,
no, he scored, he just didn't shoot.
Yeah, but
he averaged almost 20 points per game.
But there's not. You can tell when there's a different mentality that he lacks. Watch Butler play. When Butler has it, like Butler goes in these stretches where it's like, get out of my way, I'm scoring. I've never seen that from Ben Simmons. I've never seen that. So my question to you is this: Why do you think that after all that, like after 22 years of this, that all of a sudden like he's going to do this like turnaround about face and develop that, like
because he needs to, so he can reach the next level in his game.
So you're just kind of assuming that he's going to figure it out.
I would assume that a 22-year-old in this league is going to grow and develop his game. Absolutely.
I see.
You think
if I saw conscious efforts to want to do it and it just was like it looked bad, right? Like where if it was like you know what probably
that's happening behind the scenes. It's not a skill. Ready? It's not a skill set. It's a mindset. I've seen him. I know it is. But you can change that.
I think the mindset's harder to change than the skill set.
To an extent, yes. But once he sees some things go down, it automatically changes. You're not going to see it now. This is what I know this sounds stupid too because it's not a game, but I've seen videos of this guy making 35 3-pointers in a row. Like, this guy who can't shoot is making 35 3-pointers in a row. The skill set's there. It's, all right, I'm going to walk up to the line and take a three. That's not there yet.
You know where that's great? On the Morey's
board. But it's
on the board.
It doesn't just happen like that. It doesn't just happen like that.
You got to do it in it. But what I don't understand is, you eventually, no matter what you do, like fundamentally, you practice something, you get better, and you progressively get faster at it, and then you apply it to a game situation. I don't understand why it's taken this long for him to start putting all that 35 in a row, like at least an application form in practice.
He's played the same way for 20-something years. It's hard to tell someone to say, hey, you have to change it all around in the NBA when guys are that much better.
And I worry that will ever happen.
But he could be effective without the problem is consistency. So and that happens with young players.
Lamar Odom
if he doesn't have the ball in his head. You're right. But if he played like he did last night, every single game, right? And I know that's impossible. But if he played that you're not complaining about his jump shot.
We have 11. If we're gonna just use the second round sample size, you have 11 games.
Okay.
He's played like that once, maybe twice, 2 times. I'll give you 2 times.
Okay.
That's a pretty low percentage.
You're right. At this age, yeah.
So why am I supposed to just feel like on this high horse?
Because that's sports.
Yeah, but like
it's sports.
But it's not.
You're holding him to a high level because he had high praise coming out of it. It's sports to watch a player develop over time. We're going into a Game 7 on the road.
Yeah.
This is a huge moment for these players just to grow as players.
Fine. But so my whole point of the first thing that I said was what I saw in Game 6 changes nothing from what I've seen of the overall body of work.
No, I disagree because this is, hey, my back's up against the wall. We could be out of the playoffs. I stepped up and made a big play, but that's growth.
So then if they throw Conker tomorrow night.
It's not Ben Simmons' fault. I have the same mindset anyway. I don't expect them to win. This is kind of somewhat of house money, but not.
Then you just you just write it off.
I can still be upset.
No. My point. I don't know why. Why? Why can't? But why does it change? Why does it change? Like, you can be upset that they lost.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But your overall big picture outlook on
Ben Simmons. Are we looking Ben Simmons specifically? Won't change.
I think it starts with Simmons. And
okay.
I think he's that critical to this whole thing moving forward. I really I've said that from the day one.
Yeah.
I think because
think about where we are right now. You're acting like we're in like a joke of a spot, right? We're in Game 7 with the Toronto Raptors, and with him not even playing that well, according to you. So it's huge.
I don't think we're in a joke of a spot. What I'm saying is, I think they're in Game 7. I think they can win Game 7, but overall, I still worry about the big picture of this. This team has a lot of tough decisions to make. A lot of tough.
I don't even know to me, it's simple, but I bring everyone back. I mean, Jimmy Butler, I wouldn't pay Tobias Harris a max. That's reality. I wouldn't.
If you bring everybody back.
I'm bringing Jimmy Butler back easy.
If you bring everybody back.
Yeah.
Right? You bring everybody back.
We might have to hit a break and talk about this on the other side.
Hit a break.
Okay? We'll hit a break. Fired up conversation today. We got a Ben Simmons hater and a Ben Simmons lover. See you guys after the break. Yeah. So, total out of the this is good though. I actually
Where's
like
the I can't get you live.
Okay.
I see you on here.
So hold on,
oh, now it's live.
Okay.
It's red.
Yeah. This microphone was down when I came in and like on the chair.
Yeah.
And when you talk, I get it, but it's way lower than normal. So I wonder if there's something wrong with this mic.
No, I think it's always down.
Okay. I mean, it's like full throttle though. And it's giving me like half green. You can hear it though, like it's there.
Yeah.
But I mean, for today, we might as well just keep going with it.
Yeah. I
Okay,
don't know.
Because mine's hitting yellow, yours is going green. I know it was
it barely gets to.
Yeah, it was all the way down.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but you could pause this and just read the chat. Is kind of what I was going for, because I'm sure.
Oh, that's what you do. Yeah.
People are fired up.
I think yeah, good.
This is good though. You know what this reminds me
I
of?
want to see what people are saying.
Yeah. Well, does it go back to before we went live? Can you keep going?
This is
All the way it goes. How do you guys like this conversation so far? We're a little fired up over here. It's good though. It creates good content. Ben Simmons is in the chat.
That's cool. See, work on your jump shot, man. Why is he in the chat? He's wasting his time listening to me.
Every game that I go live and watch with, Furkan Korkmaz is in there.
It's like the same sort of thing.
Yeah. But this is good. You're anti Ben Simmons. Yeah, he is. I think. I can't believe you're so anti Ben. It's killing me inside.
I need more.
Well, I do too, but it'll come.
Somebody just texted me and said it sounds like I am far away.
Okay. I mean, do you want to move to that mic, and I'll just move the camera to me. It's almost to the point where, like, I hate to say it, it seems like we're picking up my mic.
It could be.
Yeah. I don't know which mic that is over there.
Your mirror sits over here.
Okay. Well, I mean, for the next, I can just turn the camera around and it'll just be me.
No, yeah, just. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. I said it. I didn't want to do it like live. Be like, hey, go switch over there. You know.
That's odd though.
Yeah, but the microphone was down all the way. All right, we're gonna have to switch the camera around.
Yeah, but I think they lay this down because your mirror sits there.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I see what you're saying. We gotta switch around microphones, but hey, we're all good.
You can hear me by talking to this, right? On your earphone?
Oh yeah, no doubt. All right, we will come back in.
Hello?
Oh wait, what does it say? What mic that is? I'll play. I mean, there's only two options, so like once we get going, I'll. All right, we're coming back in 30. Welcome back to Sports Talk with Broach. Give me a little mic check over there, will you?
Can you hear me clear?
Hold on. Go ahead, talk again.
Can you hear me clear?
One more time.
No, you can't.
Go ahead.
Not working?
Say it again.
Hello?
Why is that now? We're messing around with the microphones because we had a little bit of an issue with the one mic. I got one last chance.
Hello?
Okay, there we go. We got you.
Good.
We got you.
Good.
All right, cool. All right. Well, you're going to like this. You want to know what just happened the whole time?
What?
I may have had that mic on.
Instead of this one?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, 'cause that's what they use in the morning, so you just went to the one that they normally use.
Oh, that's great. Anyway, we're back here on Sports Talk with Bros. Yeah, you know what? Good. That just defines how our morning has been going here. But I like it. It's passionate. We're both passionate about our takes. And let's continue. So you wanted to talk about the Jimmy Butler thing. And I'd say max him out.
No, if whatever your plan is, if you, okay, say this team comes up short, right? This year,
Mm-hmm.
you bring them all back. That's fine. Where is the growth? Like what makes them in next year or the year after? What makes them better? Like what makes them get over that hump?
Better bench.
Because hold on, and that's part of it.
Yeah.
Right. You max. It's going to take a max for Butler. It's going to take close to a max from Harris.
Yeah.
Because somebody's going to offer him a max. It's just going to be a matter of, are you going to offer him a max? Or are you going to convince him to stay at a little cheaper rate to stay with you than to take a max for the Orlando Magic or something? I don't know. But so you're going to be up against it. Like cap wise, this is what you have.
Yeah.
But so now the question is, so you're going to have very little wiggle room to improve your roster in a big way. So my question to you is, where does that difference be made up for them to ultimately get over the hump?
Well, it'll be the bench, and there'll be guys that would want to come to Philly. Like, bench guys aren't getting paid obnoxious amount of money, right? Like, let's be real. I think there will be guys that would come to Philly for bench play who are bench players.
Like the Sean Livingston.
Yeah, like, right. You'll find guys like that. I mean, think about what we're playing with, right?
Like guys that would be willing to accept like a veteran, type minimum.
Yeah, and think about what we're playing with now. Let's be real. I mean, anything would be a help. Anything would be a help. So we have that, and then you got to rely on growth of players. I mean, it's the same. I mean, Jimmy Butler is what he is. You're not getting.
Harris is what he is.
But you're right. This is a nightmare of a show. I'll tell you.
I think Harris is what he is at this point. Where's Joel's growth? How much more can you expect out of him?
I think it can come with just. It's going to be the same style of play. It's just executing more. So instead of shooting 30% from three, maybe you see 34 or 35.
Yeah,
stuff like that. You know what you're getting.
It's hard to ask much more. I mean, I'd be shocked. Like, if he starts doing much more, then he's really legitimately probably closer to Wilt Chamberlain.
So it's coming back to Ben Simmons is the X factor. I know. I mean, yeah.
You're putting your chips in the middle on Ben.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, when he's 25, 26, 27,
I will be on the record.
The haters are going to laugh.
That my approach and philosophy and opinion on Simmons literally has nothing to do with like this series or the Boston series.
I knew that.
I felt this way about this guy going back to LSU. I knew there was some it was incomplete.
But what player coming out of college is complete?
You see, there's certain things. Listen, when you get into half-court basketball, there's just a certain style that becomes, more, we'll say, in vogue and more required in order to have success. And I've never seen him play that. I've never seen him play that way at any point in his career. So that to me is he needs to just start I need to start just seeing it.
It's the inconsistency is the problem. He does it, but it's 25 one night, 25 8 and 6, and then it's 5 4 and 3.
But I don't just look at the points. I look at how he's getting the points. Like, I don't know. Like, you could almost make that same argument like with volume guys. Like, you can go the other way with it, right? Like Simmons is pretty efficient because he gets his points around the rim.
Yeah.
Right? But like you could go the other way and say, okay, there's these volume guys that like shoot like Russell Westbrook. Right? Like he gets points too.
Yeah.
But I don't think Russell Westbrook's style of play is ever going to be the main cog in a championship team because I just think he's not efficient enough.
I know what you're saying because everyone knocks on Russell Westbrook.
I picked him. I'll even say Allen Iverson. Oh God, now they're really going to hate me on here.
Those kids are too young to even know. I mean, so am I. Like, to the extent of watching basketball like I do now with AI, I was 7. I'm not sitting there breaking down half-court offenses.
I was about 12, 14 years old when Iverson was in his heyday. There was no more joy than I got picking up that newspaper, the Daily News, when people read that, and reading the box score, and Iverson would be 9 for 31. And shoot another 14 times at the line to get those 30 points a night.
But I want to bring back the Russell Westbrook thing. So I know this is a goofy thing to bring up, but I'm just curious on your opinion here. So like Russell Westbrook can't get it done or whatever. Like that's the big thing with him. He can't get it done. He can't get it done. Mm-hmm. If you're a franchise, would you rather not have Russell Westbrook for 10 years? I'm curious as an organizational standpoint.
The answer is you know, right? You're not moving on from him.
Right.
But then the answer becomes the reality ends up being that you're just kind of like you're stuck in this relationship that you just can't.
Yeah, I know. I'm just curious because I agree with you. Russell Westbrook isn't like the guy who's going to bring it to you, but as an organizational standpoint, you don't move on from him either. It's like.
Correct, and he's at one end of the spectrum of that conversation, and I think Simmons could almost be—he's like so tantalizing with talent level that if he doesn't evolve and get to the point that like kind of gets you closer to the median ground there.
But here's the problem, though. Russell Westbrook shoots like 25% from three this year, and he jacks up 9 threes a game, and he's bricking them. With Simmons, it's like not that at all. I
said it's the opposite ends of the spectrum.
Right.
At the end of the day, if I just like really took their basic stat line, you're like, wow, these guys are good players, right? But then you start diving into it, you're like, all right, well, which one is this? What is translatable into winning an NBA championship? Which one? Obviously Ben's a little more efficient, but is his efficiency of getting all the rim all the time is that possible in half court basketball? And
I think it is though. I'm telling you, when I know it's goofy.
By the way, he's 22.
Yeah.
When you get to 26, maybe 27.
You're thinking more like 30. LeBron is now hitting that point of I can't drive anymore, and he's 33.
It's going to get to that point.
And not at 26, 27. Yeah, I'm just saying. I know we all want it now. We're screaming, we need it now, and when he's 25, 26, 27, those people who hate him are going to be like laughing at themselves.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
Or they're going to be right.
He's never going to. Ben Simmons is never going to start knocking down 3-pointers to the point of Steph Curry.
Well,
no.
I think
it needs a 15-foot game.
Lamar Odom. I think he needs to at least have that like threat that Lamar Odom could at least hit one or two a game. Like
three-wise, he won't even. He's not even going to hit threes.
He's got to be able to at least knock down maybe not 3. But he's got to be able to knock down
15, 20-footer.
Pull up 15.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be.
If you don't have a pull up,
Rondo worked in this league, and he cannot shoot. It's going to be a 6'10" Rondo, a 6'10" Rondo. That's what we're looking at.
Rondo and maybe this is more it, but Rondo worked because he was playing next to Paul Pierce.
But Ben Simmons is playing with some other guy. Ben Simmons can't take a team of the Cleveland Cavaliers last year to a finals. No, he needs help. But so here's the Jimmy Butler thing. You know where you're getting at Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's not carrying teams to the NBA championships. He needs guys around. I mean, that's what it is. You need guys around him. That's why he's hard on Ben Simmons. That's why he's hard on Embiid. He knows that he needs help. It's not just him to go out there and make it happen. But speaking of Jimmy Butler, are you a little excited to see what he brings to the table? I wonder, we know what we get out of him.
I love watching a guy.
I know. I know. I'm with you.
Like that dude, like, you know what I mean? Like, and we talked about Russell Westbrook and we talked about Iverson, and in a one winner take all type atmosphere, I'm okay. Like I feel like I always default to being okay with, even though it's not good big picture, I always default to like that dude that's willing to go out like shooting 99 times.
Well, yeah, that's why we as a fan base, we get upset and we boo after a Game 5 performance because. If we go into Game 7 and we lose 98-96, and this is a legitimate head-to-head fight, you sit there and you nod your cap and you say, you know what, boys, like we went out. If we go out there and lose 100-60, it's about the effort thing. Like, just go out there and compete for us, and we'll live with the results.
See, do you think it'll be a lower scoring game tomorrow?
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be as fast-paced as last game.
The lower scoring game comes into play.
Half-court offense.
I think Ben Simmons becomes less of a factor.
You're right, but I think why were we able to dictate the pace of the game last game? Well, we have the ability to dictate a fast-paced game if we play the way we want to play. So it comes down to less touches for Embiid in the block, which I know people aren't going to be happy about, but to up and down the floor. If we dictate that type of game, which we can do, we did it in Game 6, then Ben can be a factor.
Yeah. He's clear. It's clear that he's at his best when the game is just moving up.
Yeah, no doubt. And I want to throw this out there. I know Kawhi hasn't been on Ben. It was 52% of the time so far this series, but Ben is going up against the best defender in the league. The best. It's not an excuse for him to be a non-factor in Game 4 and 5. Not an excuse. But you're going up against more than half the time the best defender in the league. I was the other way.
I wouldn't waste.
I agree. I wouldn't either.
Unless they're almost like not using like. I would love to know when that 52% is and when it's not.
Yeah.
Right. Like unless in the first quarter, in the second quarter, and then he's like on Ben. Right?
And then he switches to Jimmy Butler when Jimmy becomes the ball handler. That's what it's been. He switches late.
Like they're almost like, we know you just stand next to Ben Simmons and just like we'll take him out of the game.
To keep your energy too.
Keep your energy.
Yeah.
I would love to know. I don't know what it is. Like
you're probably not. I think the same thing. They probably say Kawhi, go sit on Ben for a little bit, rejuvenate, and then
rebound,
go to Jimmy Butler here and there, kind of thing. So we'll see how it plays out. I don't think Nick Nurse is at this point. There's no more. Adjustments. I mean, there really is no more like legitimate adjustments to change the rest of the game. Like everyone's made their adjustments. It's execute.
And if you do, you have a major advantage. If you find something.
Yeah, at this point, yeah.
Find something that
Jonah Bolden, T.J. McConnell.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, and we'll talk about it on the break. The rotations, and I think we'll talk about the other side, but I think I know what we have to do here in Game 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the key number I said there was 7. 7. Think about it. On the other side, we'll talk about it. 7-man rotation. We can't do Boban. We can't do Monroe. Mike Scott has to play the 5. Yeah, Mike Scott has to play the 5. Boban was minus 18 in 7 minutes, dude. It's impossible to do that.
So you don't go to
Greg Monroe either. He just plays small. Mike Scotty isn't even that small, but he is. What was he, 6'10", maybe? It's only limited minutes. Your starters have to play the whole game almost. How you guys feeling this morning? Do you think we can beat the Bucks? I'm worried about Game 7. I can't be doing that. Yo, I can't believe I did that.
So you had it on the
I used the mic that was I just hit it as if because it was already up. My mind didn't process the mic. And I'm sitting there playing with it when we were talking. It doesn't sound right. How did I do that? My bad. I apologize. That was a good segment too. No, I saw it on the soundboard. I'm telling you, the green was up. It was a good level of green, but it wasn't yellow. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pissed. You on the chat? How's the chat looking?
They're fighting with each other.
Yeah, that's normally how it goes. That's my comment section on my videos. Like it's just people just rip apart each other.
Joe Ingles, man.
Joe Ingles, come on.
What Joe Ingles has to do with this?
All right, we will come back in 1 minute. 1 minute, we're coming back. We'll close the show out in the last segment. I'm just bummed now because it's just me, and it was such a good view of both of us. That works, by the way, that view.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, because I watched the last episode of us. That's funny. That segment reminded me of when Gargano and Martinez fired up on each other one time about something.
Probably something stupid.
Yeah, like tasty cakes.
Yeah.
We got 25 seconds. I know, Joe Ingles is in the chat. Joe Ingles is in the chat.
Yeah, he's in the chat. He's checking in. Hey, is he a free agent? Oh, probably because he's Australian.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, maybe. He should turn his mic off, someone said. Welcome back to Sports Talk with Bros. on this last segment here, we're going to take a look into Game 7 and what exactly has to be done. And it's pretty simple to me. Our starters are going to have to play a lot of minutes, because here's why. Joel Embiid off the floor, we're being outscored by 97 points. Joel Embiid on the floor, outscoring the Raptors by 80 points. That is an obnoxious difference. And one thing that tells me is, I mean, we saw Boban last game. He was minus 18 in 7 minutes. In real gameplay, he was minus 15 in 4 minutes, which is almost impossible to do. We can't go with Monroe. We can't go with Boban. We go with Mike Scott for about 5 minutes at the 5 position, and we live with the results with Gasol and Ibaka. Because, I mean, you just can't go with the other guys.
I mean, see, this is where it kind of hurts with, and maybe they just forget about it, and they just let Embiid play many more minutes than they ever anticipated it. But this is where it kind of hurts, like with his conditioning and the just monitoring of his minutes per se.
He didn't look that bad. He didn't look that bad last game fatigue wise though. He doesn't have that same like mopey sick effect look.
Well, he was sick, man.
Yeah.
This guy's sick all the time.
I mean like what is sick though? Because I don't understand. There's always those people that are sick and they call out of work and they have a cough. Like I'm not a sick person, so I can't live it. I don't.
You could see him though. Like he was like short of his breath, like panting, sweating profusely. Like there was something wrong.
Yeah, there was clearly something wrong. But you can't give us sick. You give us he has a stomach virus where he's throwing up. Like what is this? Because is it a couple coughs and a couple sneezes, or is this hey I have a serious problem? I mean you just give us he's sick. He's not feeling well. What does that mean?
Right.
What does that mean?
They said he was.
I have no sympathy for sick. That's why I do. I'm one of those. I might be a little too harsh, but I'm not a believer in the sick.
If Ben Simmons had a cold.
Yeah, you're out there in the court. You'd go out there and play. All right.
If Ben Simmons had to get his wisdom teeth removed, would you defend him?
No, listen. I'm not sitting here and telling you Ben Simmons is the perfect player. Here's the thing. I've actually been a Ben Simmons believer for so long. After Game 5, I made a video post-game, and for the first time in my life, I sat there and I said, this is the first time ever I'm saying this. I just question what is going to happen with Ben Simmons. Like, he's such a non-factor off the ball. Can it work? And then I saw what he did in Game 6, and I said, I'm sorry, Ben Simmons. Because I agree, off the ball, he's a joke.
You need to just...
But in 3 seasons, that's the first time I ever thought, what is going on? But, I mean, you see with the ball in his hands, okay, that's it. That's it. He needs to play like that with the ball in his hands. But don't say, I mean, listen, I know the Brooklyn Nets are the Brooklyn Nets, but that was our first-round playoff matchup, and once he got caught out, that's the thing. I'm not saying he's perfect. It's the most frustrating athlete I think I've ever seen because we know his talent's there, and he doesn't show it every night. But once he gets caught out by Dudley, the Nets, whatever, he shows up and scores 33 points in a playoff game without a jumper.
I think it was somebody, one of the radio stations brought it up this week. They asked the question, is he Don Brown? No, he's not Don Brown.
No.
This guy's going to be, regardless of whether he gets to the level that I'm talking about, the guy's going to be an all-star for years to come. That's just the nature of it.
I think the ceiling is so high because of the anticipation this guy's going to be the next LeBron that we have this like a mindset that he's already that.
Is he a? I don't mean in terms of style of play.
Okay.
But is he a John Wall type of tier all-star, like where he's all-star-ish, but like not elevate you, good team, like organizationally all-star? Or is he, I don't want to make this comparison, but like, is he closer to LeBron level of all-star? That's the question.
Okay. I don't know if I can give you that answer right at 22. No, he's not.
When I say tier, I don't mean like he's LeBron or he's John Wall, like in terms of
I know
comparison. But like there are, like we always talk about the tiers of being either the good teams or the really bad like purgatory teams. But then there's this other small group of organizations that are the Raptors.
Yeah.
Like the Raptors have been this, right, for years and years now. Like where they're like good enough but not great enough.
Well, I'll say this. If John Wall was on this Sixers team without Ben Simmons, are we going to be saying that?
Well, go ahead.
You know what I mean? Though, like if John Wall was on the Sixers team and we were doing good, we're in the game 7, we're in the same spot as Ben Simmons is in. I think the outlook on John Wall is different than that Wizards team, right? I mean, I'm just like if John Wall was on a good team. I guess that's you're saying the difference because if LeBron's on a team, it changes everything. But there's only so many, and this comes back to the same with the Drew Brees, Brady. No, Ben Simmons is not taking it.
I watched Cleveland go to crap, right? And then I watched him go to Miami, they were good. I watched him leave Miami, them go to crap. I watched him come back to Cleveland, they're good. I watched him leave Cleveland, guys like that, like Durant, you know, I know it took him a couple years from the Seattle into the early Oklahoma City days, but you know that guy's on any team, they're going to be a top 3 team in the country.
All right, Ben Simmons can go to a team and make them great, but Ben Simmons isn't going to go to a Cleveland Cavaliers and bring them on a playoff run.
A legitimate, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I think he's like a right now. Yeah, he's a difference maker to a team like a John Wall and like those. And right now, yeah, he's not LeBron. He's not going to take it. Yeah, he's not going to take a team to a championship.
And I think in order for them to achieve, you know, large picture success, which is what win a championship.
Yeah.
I think he needs to get. Out of everybody else, he needs to get closer to that realm.
Because he's the most raw right now.
He's the most raw.
Yeah.
I think he has the skill set to get everything else in terms of the 6'11" guard that can kick the ball off the rim, dribble as proficiently as he does. It's there. It's just he needs that to somehow get into his own mind that what I'm saying, it's there, and he needs to.
Well, that's the frustration. The frustration with the fan base is you have it. Why aren't we seeing it? Because it's so inconsistent. And you're not wrong for that mindset, but I like it's just like irrational to think that this guy at 22 years old should be this perfect player. And I feel like a lot of the fan base has this mindset that at 22 he needs to be the most perfect player in the world because we're in this run.
I don't think perfection is what people are looking for. I just think they're looking for some semblance of life from a certain aspect of his game.
Game 4 and 5 was unacceptable.
No, not totality, but let's that certain element that we're talking about of that half court game, it's not, he doesn't even show you that he's bad at it. He just doesn't do it. That's probably more frustrating than anything.
I just think it's a different comparison due to size, but if it's almost the same because of the position. Put Kemba Walker at the 5 for a game and tell me what he's going to do good. It's almost to that. You put Ben Simmons at the 5, he doesn't know what to do because he's a point guard. So I know in theory it sounds weird, but
I thought it was the other way. I thought he was learning to play the point guard. He was naturally a 4.
Well, he played the 4 because basketball is positionless anyway. He's a point forward, but now he's playing point guard. You go from college and wherever you played before, and then you go to the NBA where everyone's 6'5" to 6'11". It changes everything.
Mostly off the ball in college. He was standing on high post.
Yeah, but and how was that?
They were
I mean, first off, who's going to basketball for LSU to play basketball? That was the first mistake.
But they had another pro on that team. That guy played for Chicago. Man, begins with a Q. Quarterly or Courtman or.
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah,
But regardless, I mean, you go to the point guard position at the NBA level, and you're a point guard, and then it's like, oh yeah, hey, by the way, now you're going to play the center in the NBA and do something. It's like and some of that goes on Brett to realize hey, it didn't work. And I think once we went back to Ben Simmons more, took Jimmy off the ball more, all we did was pick and roll and try and shoot, and that's why I looked bad in Game 4 and Game 5.
I said it last week. I said if I'm Nick Nurse, I continue to let Ben have the ball in his hand, and I just take away the shooter.
Well, it didn't work yesterday.
Well, everything they did, if they did what they did on the defensive end in Game 7.
Sixers-wise?
Sixers.
Okay.
Sixers had that same energy. They were creating turnovers, getting out on fast breaks. Joel was blocking shot, initiating those fast breaks, steals, jumping past them, whatever, turnovers. Then they'll win.
Yeah.
No problem. That's where it started.
It does.
That whole game, and then it became downhill, right? And everything, one missed shot the one way, and then.
That's where Ben's his best.
What's that?
That's where Ben is his best, downhill.
Downhill, yeah. But I worry if it just with him and handling the ball in the half court, like it's fine when they're playing fast, but I'm going to venture to say it's going to be a methodical pace in the second half. If it's a close game, it'll be a methodical pace in that final 8 minutes of the. It'll look more like Game 4. I think that's what's going to, and the difference will be, will a guy like Tobias Harris hit those shots?
Right. Well, he had like 10 wide open threes that game.
But early in that game, Toronto couldn't throw the ball in the ocean from Mac and Mankos.
Well, I'll say this. As much as all the Raptors fans, because I do get a lot of them on YouTube, we didn't make shots this game. We didn't make shots that game. For the most part, except for one game, they haven't made shots.
They haven't.
And is it because they just don't make shots, or is it here's the game, it's going to click eventually and it's going to be Game 7?
I told you Game 5 they would make them, right? The role players are going to play a little better.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
that's what they did. You hope there's not as much of that in Game 7, but that's what it's going to come down to, because they're going to I don't know if they did as much double teaming in Game 6. The Sixers did.
Not as much.
That's what they were doing in Games 3 and 4. Is they were just running these double teams at mainly Kawhi.
Yeah, it didn't work.
And then they would find the open guy, but Gasol would miss it. That the Siakam didn't shoot well. Kyle Lowry was terrible and shooting his jump shots, and Ibaka. How about some of the shots that Ibaka was putting up, man?
I'd rather take Greg Monroe's shots from the corner.
They were bad. And he can
yeah, no, he can shoot it though, ish. Yeah, I mean, he's not that bad. Let's say that.
Yeah, otherwise that game would have gotten out of hand. But I think the flow of Game 7 will look more like Game 3.
I agree. Game 4, you mean?
Game 4.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. All right, so my final predictions, all based off of fan biased. Sixers in 7. Real quick, what do you got as we go to break to end the show?
Oh, man. I think they lose a close one.
Okay. And I'll live with that. I'll be upset as a sports fan, but I'll live with good effort on a away Game 7. I mean...
Because Kawhi hasn't played particularly... He hasn't left his mark in the last 2 games.
But do you think that's because our defensive intensity has picked up?
No, I just think it's the law of averages.
Yeah, that's fair. No, that's fair.
I think now,
Yeah, you're not going to be a robot for 7 games in a row.
I just feared he's going to come back to the robot.
We got to come out with something that silences the crowd. It can't start out 18-8.
I have to see frickin' Drake running around all pumped up. Dude, shut up. Sit down.
I like Drake's music. All right. Anyway.
Kiki.
Yeah.
No.
This was an awesome awesome aired show. I thought this was great today.
Yeah.
I had a blast.
Yeah.
I was I didn't even think of the time. I didn't even look at my notes. That was just raw, passionate sports talk on a Saturday morning.
We left it all out there.
We did, and your mic wasn't on.
I hope the Sixers leave as much energy out on the floor as we did today.
I agree with you. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening to this week. We'll be back next week in the third round of the playoffs. See what I did there? See you guys then. Sweet. All right, next time. I can't believe I'm so upset with myself for that I messed up.